My Biolic announced this week that she has been on a GLP-1 nightmare after just one dose, and after it was prescribed to help her autoimmune conditions, but in fact made it substantially worse. I'm a board-certified family physician, and I happen to have a very similar story. And I have a fairly good explanation potentially of what happened to her that she probably doesn't even know yet. So if you know her or have contacts, try to get her to see this. She has a diagnosis of Graves' disease, one which I do not have, that has to do with your thyroid, but also has MCAS and dysautonomia, both of which I do have. And also chronic fatigue, amongst other problems. So I had POTS symptoms with tachycardia before this happened, but they got exponentially worse. Now, I had no problem previously on Wegovy semaglutide, and that is because it does not have the extra component, the GIP with the GLP-1, that is already elevated in patients with dysautonomia. There has been one study about elevated GIP in POTS, but none on GLP-1s with GIPs like tirzepatide or Zepbound. But my start of my long COVID and POTS and MCAS journey happened at that point in time when I switched to Zepbound tirzepatide. And even my doctors had no idea why. It took multiple months to connect those dots. But we do know GLP-1s have potential for elevating heart rate. So people with dysautonomia, they can actually get worse with it. That being said, the effects seem to be much bigger with tirzepatide-based medication. Again, because the GIP being elevated in patients with dysautonomia, and this elevates it much further, causing a lot of the severe side effects people experience. And there are lots of people out there experiencing it. We just haven't had any studies to prove that specifically. So anecdotal evidence isn't the best form of evidence, but when you combine that with the evidence that we do have about dysautonomia, it seems fairly compelling that this is what's happening. And if your doctor isn't aware and they're acting on just their best intention based on general information, it becomes problematic and dangerous. I will add the studies that I'm talking about to my link tree. And if we can get this to my Biolic, I'm happy to have a conversation with you and follow for more.